Am I the a-hole for digging into my brother's girlfriend's past and telling him the results? My younger brother, Adam, had a rough childhood, to say the least. Our father passed away when he was under 10 from cancer. Our mother is likely bipolar, but definitely narcissistic tendencies and abusive. I'm older by a decade and did what I could when I could for him, but basically I failed to protect him and didn't understand what he needed. All that to say that his descent into alcoholism wasn't a surprise, it was expected. A couple years ago, he had an incident that caused him hospitalization and began his recovery and sobriety. He's over 2 years clean now, hugely due to the new relationship he started months after his incident with a kind-hearted, lovely woman. I'll call her Eve. He brought Eve over to meet us shortly after they met, and she's been a welcome part of our family. She makes gifts for my kids and treats. She's always fun to speak to, and her quirkiness fits in beautifully. As we got to know her, we've learned about how traumatic her life has been. They're kinda trauma bonded, but she's so understanding and empathetic. She told us about her twin who passed away in high school, how her siblings and parents loved him more and treat her badly as the survivor that was always less than. She also had another brother who passed away in war in Iraq. That was the golden child after her twin passed. She couldn't seem to gain her mother's approval or attention, and we bonded over those feelings of not being wanted or good enough. She told us she was originally from Scotland. Her father was a sheep farmer who moved to America to buy a cattle farm because of the cowboy movies, so she is dual citizenship. She also said because of this she spoke 16 languages. She worked at a college and had multiple degrees too. Overall, she was incredibly nice, took good care of Adam, and seemed super well educated and proper. Sometimes she had her Scottish accent too, because she'd been around her family. Then she started to tell us about her past relationships, 3 divorces. One was from a person who had gender reassignment surgery, the other passed away by his own hands, and the last had attempted to take her life, shot her, and then had ran from the cops to a ditch where he passed away. She showed my kids the scar. I felt like after 2 years of knowing her, she was a great fit, so last week when they had a bad argument, I tried to reassure Adam. I had him come over to talk, and he told me that she had lied to him about not speaking to a friend of hers anymore. Some guy who was apparently a popular guy in high school. She lied because she didn't want to believe he wasn't a good guy because she's had so much bad luck with men. Adam was struggling to move past the lying, but wanted to work it out, and I support him in whatever he does. I talked to my husband about it, and he asked the most basic question. How does she have a high school popular kid here in town if she was raised in Oklahoma on a cattle farm? Honestly, I have PTSD, so my brain sometimes gets mixed up. I assumed I was wrong. It turned over and over in my head though, for a couple days. I finally caved while my husband played video games and began a casual search into her. Googled her name and her address came up. Then I realized her history of addresses were all in America, all going back pretty far. So I checked her parents, and their addresses went back in America to before she was born. I was so confused I Googled them and found recent obituaries of her grandparents on both sides. They're all from America. And they only mention 3 kids by her parents, ever. Obituaries usually list preceded in death, and these do, but no grandkids in that list. No additional brothers of hers. Not only that, but she lived at the same address her whole life in Kansas. I looked it up on a map and found the high school nearby and searched the yearbook. Found her 12th grade, no twin, okay, but he passed away, so I checked 9th grade, also no twin. The deeper I dug, the more proof of the lies. Only 2 marriages on record, both still alive. One did change names from male in the marriage to female in the divorce, but that seems to be the only true thing she's ever said. It's absolutely shocking. Finally, my husband said I had to tell Adam. I was against it, and then as the pile got larger I said it was an in-person conversation. He insisted it needed to be done, so I put it all together into a document and messaged Adam. I asked a few clarifying questions about the twin and the ex-husbands. I apologized and provided the information to him and hoped I was wrong. Within 10 minutes of sending it to him, he said that she admitted everything to him. He's absolutely lost now. 2 whole years, so many lies. I'm just baffled. Why? Like, if they ever got married it would have unraveled so quickly. As it stands, she's been able to keep him away from her family by allowing them to disrespect their age gap. He's noticeably younger than her. She refused to go to an uncle's funeral earlier this year because she claimed he was a predator. I hate questioning that, but maybe she just didn't want Adam to find out that her uncle was born and raised in Kansas, not Scotland, and so was her dad. She was here with my kids, having them feel the bullet wound scar from an incident that never happened. There's no criminal records for either of the exes. There's none for her either, thankfully, but good lord. I wish I could put the cat back in the bag on this one. Why lie? And why didn't I check her background sooner? I literally check the kids my kids date in high school to make sure their parents aren't on a registry or anything. I should have checked her much sooner. Now the life and family they were building is in ruins, and I'm terrified of him losing his sobriety. I'm feeling really guilty for looking it up and telling him too. Not sure I did the right thing because he's heartbroken. Am I the a-hole? To catch up, brother's girlfriend of 2 years was lying about her past, from the traumatic passing of a made-up twin, made-up older brother, 2 ex-husbands, who are still very much alive. A made-up ex-fiancé and a made-up loss of a child, made-up assault during their relationship that she used to control him, to inventing having multiple degrees and speaking 16 languages. When I posted, I had uncovered some of the lies and forwarded him the proof. She had come clean immediately and taken him to visit her parents to explain it. She has untreated borderline personality disorder apparently. My brother, who I called Adam for this, is a recovering alcoholic with a huge heart. He was absolutely determined to stay with her and not toss her aside for being human. He thought this was the righteous and noble thing to do, to not discard someone who is struggling or damaged in their time of need. My husband and I were determined to support him regardless of his choice, because we love him. She told him she could never be around us again and she was scared of us. We assured him that we would never be rude to anyone he dated and that we were more than capable of being around her. I genuinely think when she realized that we weren't going to let her isolate him by pretending like she had a reason to fear us, it was over for her. It lasted only a week after our dinner with him where we showed him unconditional support and reminded him that he was the victim repeatedly. The following week, she went out with friends to a bar. He asked where she went and with who, since this whole thing started because she was lying about not hanging out with some jerk that didn't respect my brother or their relationship. She said that she didn't have to show Adam anything to prove where she had been and that he can't heal like this. She expected to play the victim to him, as if him asking for accountability and transparency was him being controlling. Then he said that he can't be in a relationship where he can't trust someone. She was clearly hiding who she was with and where she was. In response, she gave him 30 days to move out. So, this weekend we are moving him into his own place. He's, of course, still reeling from the whiplash of whatever the heck the last 2 years of lies have been with a woman he thought he would marry. He has a strong support system though, and he's absolutely going to get through this. He's even quitting smoking during this, which I could not imagine trying to do in this level of choice, but he is determined. If this story kept you hooked, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more.